Hey, what's going on, guys? So Crimson Desert just dropped patch notes version 1.03.01, and this one is a hotfix aimed at smoothing out a few annoying problems that were getting in the way of actual gameplay. The update is already live on Steam for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Xbox on PC, and the Epic Games Store, while the Steam Mac and Mac App Store versions are still marked as in progress. The big thing here is that Pearl Abyss is clearly focusing on combat stability and reward handling, because the first fix tackles the skill nature Snare, which had an issue where projectiles could ricochet away or even disappear entirely. On Xbox, there was also a separate problem where Nature's Snare sometimes could not be used at all when playing with a wireless controller, so that has been addressed too. And on top of that, the patch fixes a situation where loot sometimes failed to get stored in private storage after liberation under certain conditions, which is exactly the kind of bug that can quietly mess with your progress and leave you wondering where your rewards went. What stands out about this update is that it is not trying to reinvent the game or overhaul systems from the ground up. It is more of a targeted cleanup pass that trims away a few sharp edges. That matters, because in a game like this, when a skill does not behave the way it should, or when storage fails after a major gameplay moment, like Liberation, the frustration stacks up fast. A patch like this is the kind of thing players usually feel right away, even if the changes look simple on the page. You are not getting a giant content drop here, but you are getting fixes that should make the core experience feel more reliable the next time you jump in and start using Nature's Snare, handling loot, or moving through platform-specific controls. Now, the known issues list is still pretty long, and that tells you the team is actively chasing down a bunch of platform-specific and graphics-related problems. On Steam, if you are using an Xbox controller and have Steam input enabled, actions that depend on rotating the right stick, like Nature's Snare and fishing, can still break until the controller setting is changed back to the default. There are also reported crashes on Intel Arc A770 when using XeSS, display issues on Intel Arc A series cards when Intel ZS 3.0 or Intel ZSS frame generation is enabled, and a separate crash that can happen on Intel Arc A750 when entering Henan City. On NVIDIA GTX 1060, turning on FSR upscaling and frame generation can cause the screen to go white. And on PlayStation 5 Pro, there is an issue where the resolution can appear lower than expected when the graphics preset is set to quality, which can be temporarily fixed by restarting the app. There are also a bunch of gameplay and quest-related issues that are still under investigation. Nearby Abyss Nexuses or Stone Lanterns may not always get marked when using Blinding Flash. Some knowledge can only be acquired after performing observation twice. The Cloud Cart cannot be summoned in certain cases, and on Xbox, the fishing reel-in function can fail when invert right stick Y-axis is enabled. There are quest problems too, including Blackstar's health not fully recovering if you retry or abandon the ultimate weapon fight during deferred advance, the next objective not always tracking correctly in some quests, and even a case where the player character can become unresponsive after trying to steal fruit from the back of a stall. Other reports include getting stuck to a tree while taking damage, trouble reviving during the Gregor, the Halberd of Carnage boss fight, and settings not always saving after a restore. So, while this hotfix solves a few concrete issues, the broader picture is that the team is still working through a fairly active list of bugs across controls, graphics, quests, and mission flow. And if you are on the graphics side of things, there are still some rough spots to keep in mind. Upscaling in certain environments can cause shadow flicker, weird hair rendering, visual noise and skill effects, and textures that look rougher than they should. Repeatedly changing NVIDIA ray reconstruction and DLSS options may also lead to frame drops, and FSR 4 upscaling can create rain issues where the rain disappears or the image turns blurry or distorted. There are even reports of the screen going black under certain mission conditions, plus a few character state and item effect problems like Golden Beer and Sage's Eye not applying properly, or the player character's state changing abnormally. So overall, this update feels like another step in the cleanup process. It fixes some of the most noticeable pain points, especially around Nature's Snare and storage, but it also makes it pretty clear the game is still in that phase where performance tuning, controller behavior, and edge case bugs are being actively ironed out.